And this is where Jeremiah comes in. Jeremiah is not like Jonah, who had the message, turn, or things are going to go poorly for you. Jeremiah had the message, things are going to go poorly for you. And that's all I can tell you. We are going to be taken over by the Babylonians and brought into exile. Bad news. I'm sorry to be the one to deliver it. But I do have this piece of good news. And it's one that you've heard from the prophets time and again. And it's God's promise that no matter what you, Israelites, are going through, no matter how bad things are in the world, inside of you, there is this promise. I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David. God, said Jeremiah, is faithful, even when we're not. And in bringing up this prophecy, he not only evokes a prophecy that was repeated time and again by other prophets, but he also name checks David. He's talking primarily about the city of David, but then that naturally brings to mind David. One of the kings that they actually did really like. David, unfortunately, was a human being. And if you look at his record, it's not pretty. He made some really bad mistakes, some really bad errors in judgment, and it cost. But he also knew something. And he's the most fully developed character, I think, in the Old Testament, because we read many of the Psalms as being attributable to David. And so what we do is we get this trip into his psyche, into what he was thinking, what he was feeling, how he was experiencing God. And so Psalm 25, David was a ruler in the world. He knew the reality of politics. He knew the reality of society. But he also knew and located the vehicle out of personal suffering, out of societal suffering, in the human soul. And so Psalm 25 starts out, "To you I lift up my soul." And it's more than a pretty line. It is literally, he's saying, I give up my soul to you, God. I don't manage it well. Take it. It's yours. And then what I ask of you is to do this. Show me the way. Don't just show me when and where to turn. Show me why to turn. Show me the truth. But throughout my entire life, teach me and lead me. And most importantly, don't let me be put to shame. Let me be evidence that this is the right thing to do. Don't let your people be put to shame. Let them be evidence that this is the right thing to do. And he's not talking about legalism here. It isn't just a matter of reading a list of do's and don'ts. It's a matter literally of surrendering his soul to God, to God's leadership. The laws that we read about in the Old Testament and kind of laugh about now because they're ridiculous in modern society had a why to them at the time. They may not now. But how is it when we read this and look at the law, how is it that we see it applicable to us now as guiding us now? And I think this is where Jesus embodied the law best. Because when they tried to trap him, they said, Jesus, there's a zillion laws. Tell us, what's the greatest commandment? Yeah, it's a trick. You're not supposed to pick amongst. It's like saying, what's your favorite child? And it would have shown him off as a heretic to say, well, this or that. And Jesus said the entirety of the law is summed up in love God, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And everything he did was based on that map. Jesus embodied humility. He embodied looking beyond the self, beyond what Jesus, the human, felt, wanted, needed, desired, feared. One of the young people had a poem published recently. And Gene Whipple, I won't use your name because this would single you out. And it's a poem called Indecision. And I got this after I was working on this sermon 5 minutes ago. The poem says this: I walk out my front door into my short concrete driveway. I wonder where to go. To the forested hills in the south, to the pond surrounded by water reeds in the east, to the forest paths in the north, to the town blocks in the west. Or do I wander to the unknown, to a new sanctuary? I will walk where my soul takes me, and home again. Home again. As we enter into Advent, we celebrate a promise that God will be faithful to us. It may be hard to believe because each of us has suffering in their life. It may be economics. It may be physical illness. It may be mental illness. It may be family issues. It may be distress over what's going on in your personal life or in the world. Wilderness, wilderness, wilderness. But there's that promise that somehow God comes into our world, and it is through that soul to point us the way home. And as we light that candle today, a candle of hope, we're not just celebrating a hope to come. We're also celebrating a hope that did come, because in our belief, in our tradition, we say that Jesus was that sprout. That Jesus guides us, not just telling us left or right, but why, and helping us in some small way out of that wilderness. Amen.